The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar Marathon Week. Hope you all are keeping safe and all set to go for the upcoming big events happening in October, Microsoft Power Platform Conference and a Community Summit North America. We are thrilled to provide you with the preview of Inogic's latest innovations that we'll be showcasing at these conferences. So myself, Jairaj Nadar, and I will be your host and guide throughout this exciting session. And in today's session, we will be talking about one of our key flagship product of Inogic, that is a SharePoint Security Sync, which is a comprehensive solution for integrating Dynamic 365 CRM along with the document management. So for your information, all lines will be muted. In case if you have any queries, any questions, feel free to put it in the question window or a chat window, I could say. So I will be happy to answer all of your queries while having the Q&A session. So before I deep dive into the session, let me give you a short brief about Inogic. Inogic is one of the leading service provider and an independent ISV. We are also an exclusive Dynamic 365 CRM boutique shop that has been in the business for more than decades now. We also been active in the CRM community, in which our blogs are very popular. As you can see on the screen, these are all the various productivity add-ons which Inogic has to offer. Among all, I will talk about a few key flagship product of Inogic. That is starting with Maplytics. Maplytics is a market-leading CFMD certified product which provide capabilities like visualizing CRM data on map, route optimization, smart appointment planner, territory management, and much more. And in today's session, we will be seeing about our another key flagship product, that is SharePoint Security Sync. So apart from this product development, Inogic is also an SI. We do provide an offshore development services by assisting our partners and the customers. So if you need any more information related to any of our productivity add-ons or service related, you can do reach out to us at crm@inogic.com. So this is the agenda for the today's session, where we will be seeing the challenges faced by the users in managing the document on a cloud storage, and we'll see how the document management app overcome those challenges along with the syncing the CRM security model, followed by the live demonstration, and finally at the end we will be having a Q&A session. So before I proceed, just I would like to know what shown or what sparked you in terms of registering this webinar, so that this information could be really helpful for us. So now shortly you will receive a poll that what sparked your interest in registering for this webinar. So here's the poll. So you may see the poll on your screen. So I would request you to kindly cast your vote on the poll that has been showing onto your screen. So it would be great if you could kindly vote on the poll that you can see on the screen. few more seconds. Okay. Thank you for casting your vote. So now let's deep dive into the session with the challenges. So though Microsoft Dynamics CRM is a sophisticated system, so there are many users faces many challenges in managing the documents within Dynamics CRM. So like currently there is no provision for synchronizing CRM security privileges with the SharePoint. Like Dynamics has a native SharePoint integration of SharePoint. So it is currently not possible and unable to overcome the set storage limit. So there is a storage file limits within the SharePoint document library, right? So currently it has been the main key worries of the many of the customers or the prospects across the globe, which we came along with this request, and limited dynamic 3R CRM storage space. So there are, as you see, like whenever the storages are increasing, as the documents are hitting onto the system, so since the dynamic storage space has been hampering, and this puts in the worry to the organization or the administrator to buy an additional storage space for, and only one file can be uploaded at a time. So currently there is no provision where user can upload a multiple file at a time with the out of the box functionality. So keeping all these challenges in mind, we have come up with a one-stop solution, that is a SharePoint Security Sync, where it is a comprehensive solution for integrating dynamic CRM with the SharePoint along with the document management. So now the stats that you see on the screen. So let's say they are the 21%. So 21% has been daily the productivity loss because of the document issue, since the document has been not well organized within the systems. So there is a chances a lot of productivity issues, and 23% saved in managing the security access, as well as the 30 to 40% saved in storage cost by implementing the document management app. So by doing this, what exactly it will result in reduction in the storage cost, increase your productivity, enhance document confidentiality, and an efficient document management. Let's see what are the key features that SharePoint Security Sync has to offer. So currently you can upload a files up to 1.5 GB within the attached to dynamic UI directly to the SharePoint. So within the attached to dynamic UI, you can simply drag and drop a file size of up to 1.5 GB, so that that's get immediately uploaded to the SharePoint. The custom email description. So any email description that has been sent, the default stack, the link can be generated by attached to dynamic, as I will show you in the demonstration, and that can be a customized email. You can create the customized email descriptions as well. Upload a file for 100 records. So recently we have come up with this feature, I could say, like you can select the 100 records at a time and hit on the attached to dynamic UI and upload the files that require. So this is something new that we have been recently added to this solution. Email, move email body content. So yes, you can also easily migrate the email body content from the CRM to the SharePoint. Let's say, for example, the signature that you have in the content of an email, that is something hampering a lot of storage space of the CRM as well, which we use to get a request. So yes, that can be pretty much moved from the CRM to the cloud storage, that is SharePoint. Security privileges. So yes, any security privileges, let's say if the user has been given a upload, download, email, create folder, or a rename. So what privileges that you are giving within the attached to dynamic UI. So it is completely related to the attached to dynamic UI. So what permission that you are granting to the users, whether you want to upload, download. As you all know, like many organizations don't want the user to delete the documents. So they don't give the delete permission or grant the delete permission. So yes, you can also do that. The security privileges within the attached to dynamic UI. Create multiple folders for the activities in the SharePoint. That is pretty much possible. And drag and drop. So as I said earlier as well, so using out of the box functionality, you can upload one file at a time, which is really a time consuming task for the users who's been really on a busy task of hitting or attaching the document. So however, like we have a attached to dynamic UI where you can upload multiple files or the folders on the go to the SharePoint. So these are all some of the key features that SharePoint Security Sync has to offer. Let's see all of the key features in a live action. Let me switch to my CRM window. So for the demonstration purpose and the webinar purpose, what I've done is I've already pre-configured SharePoint Security Sync in one of my demo environment with the three different users. One is Sam, who is the sales manager having organization level access. So that means Sam can able to see all the records. Let's say, for example, all the accounts in the CRM and of the other users. So the salesperson as well. Under the sales manager, there could be a salesperson, right? So those users who have created the accounts can also be viewed by the Samuel, since he's been given an organization level access. And the same for which the document location has been created, that can be seen in the SharePoint as well. And on the other browser, I've logged in as a user level access, that is Beverly, given a salesperson role, and he or she can able to see only those records which he has created into the system, or the record that has been shared with him or her. The same if I go into the SharePoint, the same I can see it in the SharePoint as well. And similar to this, on the other window, I have a Bella with the same, having a user level access, having a salesperson role, same for which the user who has created, and the same that I can see in the SharePoint as well. Now, let's take a real-time example. Let's consider, so as this is the main key example that the use cases I could say rather than example, because many organization faces this storage issue. Something it is a very much concerning point of for a many organization, like they have been that their dynamic CRM has been completely hampering with the storage. So they required something, a solution that could reduce the CRM storage space rather than buying an additional storage space within dynamic CRM. So this is where our product plays a key point over there. That is, you can able to migrate, you can able to simply move all of your history of an attachments from the CRM to the SharePoint with the help of a bulk migration job. So we have a feature called in the SharePoint Security Sync application, that is a bulk migration job. So let me explain you what exactly this bulk migration job is. So bulk migration job is like where you wanted to migrate your history of an attachment. Let's say, for example, your notes attachment, your email attachments, the email activities having a lot of attachment, right? On a daily basis, the email hitting into the system, sending out with an attachment, coming in, and also the notes attachment, the user who have been adding a notes against that particular record, the sales literature attachments. So all of those attachments that are residing into the system, which is really uh, hampering the storage space. And if you wanted to move all of those attachment in a respective folders into the SharePoint in an organized way, so this is where our bulk migration job does. It simply migrate your history attachments. So you see on the screen, I've already run one bulk migration job, or I have already scheduled this bulk migration job for my webinar purpose. So for the notes attachment, I've selected the SharePoint as a connector and schedule date. So when you wanted to perform this operation, whether you wanted to do it on our business hours, but usually we do recommend all of our customers to do it in their off business hour along with the batch wise, so that smooth and ongoing process of an migration can be completed from the stipulated time period. So I've scheduled the date and the attachment action. So here I would like to explain a bit more because it is an important piece. So attachment action is what exactly it is. It has two options, like copy and a move. So when you set it as a copy of an attachment will be residing in the CRM as well as into the SharePoint. And when you set it as a move, so it means it will completely migrate your attachment residing in the CRM to the respective cloud storage, that is to the SharePoint. So that is where the attachment action plays, and the select duration criteria. So how long the past data that you wanted to migrate or that you wanted to move it. So this you can define whether you wanted to send last 10 days, last 15 days, last week, last month, last year, or older than that, or any custom date that if you want to set it. Yes, that is also pretty much possible. And once you run this, so any attachments that are for the notes attachment that will get migrated. And in the information tab, if I go over there, I see total how many records has been processed, succeeded, the file size of it. If any ignored, then I could see that in the ignores record over here. And if any failure, I can see that failure over here. So all this status can also be checked. What was the record that has been contains the data that migrated, file size, succeeded or not. So isn't it great? Like you can easily migrate all of your history of an attachments from the CRM to the respective cloud storage, thereby reducing the CRM storage space. Yes, you may be thinking, yeah, yes, it is possible to migrate history of an attachment. What about my real time? If I do, if on a daily basis, if I create an email, my emails are hitting into the system or my users are adding the attachment in the system. So what about that? Yes, you can also migrate your real time as well. So let me show you how the real time also works over here. Let's take an example. Consider this is the account which the user has been working onto it, and I'm adding a notes attachment over here. So what exactly, let's see. I'm adding a notes attachment against this particular record. So what exactly it meant to do is, since it is a real time, right? So as soon as the user add a notes attachment against this particular record, so this attachment will get migrated to the SharePoint and the link will be left in the body of the note. So so how it works, how it perform this operation is that because of the configuration that I've done it in the entity configuration over here for the account entity. If you see for the account entity, I've configured account, the attachment action, I've set it as a move. So that means as soon as this attachment has been added over here, it will get migrated to the respective cloud, that is to the SharePoint. And I should be able to see that file in the SharePoint and the link should be left in the body of the note. Let's refresh the timeline and see whether that's the case or not. So it is few more seconds to go. I guess it's running in the workflow background. So since the syncing process it is in, so that's the reason it's taking. So as soon as it's get migrated against this particular record, I should be able to see in the SharePoint for which the document location has been created, and inside that the file should be there. Let's give it a try. I guess it is in process. So once this, yeah, as I said, the real-time migration. So this could be the use cases that I've taken over here, like adding a notes attachment. However, like whenever any new email that I've been receiving in, or emails that are receiving and having an attachment, so that can also be migrated, and the link will be left in the content email body of the content. So that's which I was explaining in the feature slide. So that's how it works. So this was one of the use cases. So over here, if you see, the attachment has been migrated to the SharePoint, and I see the link has been left in the body of the node. So the reason why it has been added, like whenever the user, if we wanted to know what was their attachment that has been added to this particular record, to know that the link has been left, and also they can able to open and check for the references as well. So they can able to easily access to that particular record in the link in the body of the node. And if I go into the SharePoint, so there you see, about a minute ago, the file has been successfully moved to the SharePoint. So this is how the real-time migration works. Like whenever any users adding an attachment, it's get migrated to the SharePoint, and link has been left in the body of the node to access. So isn't it great? Like you can also migrate your history of an attachment, the real-time attachment. So by doing all of these operations, thereby you are reducing the CRM storage space, and thereby you don't have to buy an additional storage space within Dynamics CRM. So yes, you may be thinking like, yeah, the files have been successfully moved into the SharePoint, and for which the document library has been created. So what about my organization? Let's consider an example like which we have also received from many customers. Like they do have a lot of attachment within that particular document library, but yes, SharePoint do has a limitation, right? Having a 5,000 items in a single document library. So how can we manage that? Whether it could not be possible to manage the document in the respective folders or in the respective document library in the SharePoint. So this is the challenges faced by the many users. So they wanted to know what can be done in that case, or what could be the best solution for this. So yes, keeping these challenges, we have come up with a feature called as a create folder structure. So you can create your document library, custom document library in the SharePoint within this solution. So if you see over here, let's take an example for the account entity record itself. I have configured, and on the next tab you see create custom folder structure. So in the SharePoint, if you go in the site content, you see the document library of all those account agreement over here, account September. So this is the document library which I've created earlier with the custom document library that I've created earlier. Let's create another one and see how the files or the document library has been created over here. So keeping this example alive, I'm creating in the entity configuration the create custom folder structure, and you can define the library structure whether you wanted to define it by period, by starting character, or a custom. So it's up to the user choice how you wanted to create as per your business use case. Let's say there could be a many example, like if a organization wants to manage or organize their data in a yearly wise. Let's say for example account 2022 to account 2023, or account 2024 or to account 2025. So that could be a many use cases that they can be able to perform. So over here, let's say I'll select by period, and the period type I'm setting it as a, let's say for example yearly, and you define the duration, or if you select it as a X months, and I define the date format as well, and the record folder structure. You can also create the record folder structure as well as per your requirement, but you need to enter the folder format in the open curly brace and the closed. Inside that, the logical name, you need to enter it, and you need to just save this. So as of now, I'm not creating any record folder structure over here. I'll simply create the common custom folders structure. So now whenever any account that has been created by the user, So that will be moved into the respective document library, the custom document library inside that. So let's go and create and see how it works. Let's take an example. This is the account. I'm creating a new account over here. So since it is a demo purpose, I'm roughly creating a new account, and so now the document location has to be created. So I'm hitting my A to D button over here. So this is the attached to dynamic UI, where I will be explaining you a bit more about this later down while giving another example. So once you turn this attached to dynamic UI, so as I said, it should get created. The document library will be created, and inside that, the file will get uploaded or the document will get stored over there. Let's see how and whether that's the case or not. So since it loads, if I go over here, if I refresh it in the site content, I should be able to see the, so there you see account Jan 2023 to December 2023. So this was the document library, that custom document library that I've created. And if I open that, so there you see the live action of GM solution, which you have created an account that I can see that folder inside that, and inside that the files can, any files that has been uploaded against this particular record, which can be seen in the SharePoint over here. So this way the user can able to well organize or manage their document from the CRM to the respective cloud storage, thereby increasing the productivity. So now, yes, managing the document from the CRM to the SharePoint has been really a awesome thing, as which we have seen. So you may be thinking, what about my security? So yes, all the files has been showed in SharePoint, and what about my security? It is one of my main concerns, that which many users that getting it, the confidential attachment or the confidential document to be accessed by only those users who has been given the access. The unauthorized user should not able to access or view that particular document. So yeah, keeping a step ahead, one step ahead, we have come up with the security aspect, overcoming those challenges. So for that only, what I've done over here is, since I've logged in 3 different users, as I said in the start of this webinar. So this is the user Bella. For example, Bella is working on one of the account, let's assume. And if Bella wants to upload any files, as we have seen with the attached to dynamic UI, you can upload multiple files or the folders. So let's say, for example, taking that example as a real time, Bella is working on one of this account and she wanted to upload a file to the SharePoint. And we'll see how the security aspects works over here. So now this is the attached to dynamic UI. So using the out of the box functionality, you upload one file at a time, all right, which is a time consuming task. Over here, what you can do is, if you wanted to upload any files or the folders, you can simply drag and drop the file onto the UI. The files get immediately uploaded to the SharePoint, and I can open that folder. I see those files inside that folder. If I wanted to do multiple operations, let's say if I wanted to download, I can select that, download those files. If I wanted to rename this file, yes, it is pretty much possible. If I wanted to send in an email, so let's say if I wanted to send this particular file to one of my colleague as an attachment, you have two options. Either you can attach as a document or an attach as a link. When I click on an attach as a document, a new email window will be opened up with the file added as an attachment. And so over here, if you see, there's a new email window that has been opened with the sender and the recipient that has been set in the configuration that you do it, and the file has been added as an attachment. The same, if you add as a link, then in that case as well, instead of an attachment, it will added as a link over here. And if you wanted to share any anonymous shareable link, the read-only or an editable link to any of your users or colleagues, so yes, it is pretty much possible. And if suppose you wanted to create a folder, and inside that folder if you wanted to upload a file, I will click on create folder and I can simply create. So inside this root folder I can upload a file on the go, and inside this I can manage or upload or organize many files into the SharePoint. I can simply, using this breadcrumb, I can navigate to the folders as well, and I can also view. So currently we have a provision of two types of in view, that is list or a thumbnail. This is the list view. If you select as a thumbnail, so this is how it will be seen to the users. So now so over here the Cavi is the user, Cavi solution is the account which Bella has uploaded the document to the SharePoint, right? So now let's assume, or let's take it in such a way that Bella is, who is currently working in this organization, is going on a vacation, but it seems to be one of the potential account which the Bella wants the other salesperson to work on it. So she's been sharing this record. She wanted to share this record with the other salesperson, that is Beverly. So what can we do is, so now Beverly is sharing this record. I'll select is, so this is the important part over here. Say what permission that you are granting to the users. So I've selected the Beverly, and what permission that you are giving, whether you wanted to give a read only, write, delete, append. So what exactly the privileges that you are giving to the users in the CRM, the same will get replicated in the CRM for the Beverly users, and as well as it get replicated in the SharePoint as well. Let's check whether that's the case or not. So over here I'm giving only the read only permission to this Beverly user, and I will share. So now what exactly it will should do is, Beverly should able to see this account in the CRM, and the same should get replicated in the SharePoint with the read only access. Let's go and check. So this is the account Beverly. I can see as of now in the all accounts. So there is a Kevi solution. So this was a record that has been shared by the Bella, and over here also if I refresh it, so there you see a Kevi solution that I can see it in the SharePoint. And if I open that, since it is a read-only permission that has been given to the user, I can see that in the CRM and over the SharePoint. So you see a pencil icon indicating a read-only format in the SharePoint. If I hover over there, it is the SharePoint, and the folder, the files, all are in a read-only icon. And you won't see any upload button or any options over here in order to make any changes against this particular folder or a files inside this particular account. Even if I try to open that file and make any changes, or if I wanted to modify any changes against this particular record, so I indicates that this file is in a read-only format. You cannot able to make any changes. So the important part, or the important information that I would like to give it over here is that any security privileges that has been given to the user in the CRM, any modification, any changes in the security role, adding a user in the team, removing a user in the team, and or adding a user in the business unit, or removing, so any modification that has been done into the CRM, the same will get replicated in the SharePoint. So this was one of the use case that I was explaining for the webinar purpose. So you could also relate the use cases close to your business scenario. That would definitely work in terms of all of these actions. Associating a record, associating a user, dissociating. So all of these actions can be replicated the same from the CRM to the SharePoint. And now let's assume, if suppose Beverly is the salesperson, right? Let's go and change the security role of this Beverly user to a manager level. let's say she has been promoted to a sales manager and giving an organization level access. So if Beverly has been given organizational level access, he or she should be able to see all the records in the account in the CRM, and the same in the SharePoint as well, for which the document location is created, right? So if I go into the user and I change the security role of Beverly, promoting Beverly to a sales manager, so now Beverly has been promoted to a manager level. So that means he or she should be able to see all of the accounts in the CRM, as well as the same should get replicated in the SharePoint as well, for which the document location has been created. So I see all the accounts in the CRM over here, and in the SharePoint for which the document location has been created. So there you see, I can see all the records in the CRM as well. So just by changing the security role, it replicates the same CRM security model along with the SharePoint. So that's where it is SharePoint security plays a major role in terms of like comprehensive solution for managing your documents by integrating CRM with the SharePoint along with the document management. So the configuration part I would like to explain it over here is that the one-time configuration that you need to do, the security template, I would like to give you an overview about that. So this is security template, and the user that has been added over here, those will be given the permission that you set it over here. So if you remember, while explaining the features, the security privileges within the attached to dynamic UI, which we have seen, you can upload, download, folder, delete, rename. Since this all actions can be performed, if you enable or disable any actions, so those actions can be accordingly given the permission to the users. So this how the security templates works within the attached to dynamic UI in the SharePoint Security Sync solution. So now you will receive a poll on the features that you like the most in the SharePoint Security Sync solution. So I would like to cast you to the features that you like the most in SharePoint Security Sync. So here's the poll that you see on the screen. So it would be great, and I would also request you to kindly cast your vote on the features that you like the most in the SharePoint Security Sync. Thank you for casting your vote. Let me switch back to the presentation. So these are some of the common FAQs that we get it from the customers. So are the attachment easily accessible once migrated to the cloud storage? Yes, it is pretty much accessible, like we have seen in the notes attachment, right? So it is pretty much accessible. Which type of SharePoint sites, like as we have seen, the SharePoint sync does support SharePoint security syncs. Is it possible to sync previous records in a bulk? Yes, that is also we have seen, like with the help of the bulk migration job, this it is pretty much possible. So to get started with an SharePoint Security Sync is simple, which we will, and the supported version is Microsoft Dynamics CRM 9.2 and above, as well as in the Dataverse, which can be deployed on the online. So now let's have a Q&A session. So feel free to put your questions on the question window. I will be happy to answer your queries. So I would request you to kindly put your questions on the question window. So in case if any question arises, you can send us an email at crm@inogic.com. We will be happy to answer your questions. So to get started is really simple. You can download the solution from our website as well as from Microsoft AppSource. During your trial setup, if you need any assistance, you can reach out. We will be happy to assist you. Let's catch up